more on the high school age too. So community based, a little bit more on the young side, high school based is for the older kids. Brother Keith right here.
Hi everyone, my name is Garcia and I am volunteer engagement manager for Those Big Sisters. I kind of wanted to expand a little bit. You did an amazing job telling about the programs, just a brief overview. But to answer your questions, where we are in Irving, our office may not be physically located in Irving, but we are currently in a lot of schools, specifically Irving High School, which is where our high school program is. And it's the point of we meet one time a month in the evening. Bring through it, you guys have the opportunity to connect with each other. That is really the need is everything. We're also with the elementary schools, so in case you can't see the that day, doing your literature recess break. But we especially need a male mentor. So we have almost 300 young boys on our list, on our waiting list, who've been waiting for a mentor. And so if that speaks to you, we are here. After this, on my way back, once I get settled where I'm going after this, I will email the information back over to your SLA. We can get that distributed to you all, and my information will be there, this information will be there, and we're happy to answer any questions that you all have. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Awesome.
All right, Robert, did you have an announcement?
I do have an announcement. Just want to remind all the past presidents that we have past presidents meeting next Thursday, 10:30 right here in this room.
Next Thursday, 10:30, past presidents meeting.
We don't have a meeting yet, next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have.
Would you like to still do it? We can meet at our church.
No, we were.
Yeah, that's
We'll find a next Thursday.
okay. So hang on to that. Past presidents meeting is being rescheduled.
I do have a guest.
Yes, Aaron, welcome back. It's good to have Aaron also with us once again. Any other guests that we get to address earlier? Awesome. Crystal, we did make some mention of Breakfast with the Stars. And how awesome that was yesterday. But I'd love to have you come forward and give us your thoughts.
Yeah.
I love your outfit.
Thank you. Bill Barr always says, love. He goes, are you okay? You look so tired. I said, yeah, we had 1,000 people in the room yesterday. And of course, any of you that have ever thrown events, you have people the day before saying, you know what, I know I sent you 10 people, but I'm actually gonna pull out 8, add 5 in, and my brother's gonna send 2 people, but he wants to sit by this person. So we were up until probably 1 a.m. the night before, and then back at it again at 5 to get everything beautiful for our students. We had over 1,000 people in attendance. Legally, I have to say 1,000 people in attendance because the convention center said that was our capacity for the fire marshal. So there were more people, which is awesome. We had a wait list, we had 20 people sitting on the wait list, begging to come in, so we ended up having to put some seats out in the mezzanine, if you saw that, for our students. Some of our students that were not receiving scholarships are dads and artists and kids out there to enjoy breakfast as well. We awarded $526,000 in scholarships as a new record for us. And we had 175 recipients across the stage. Unfortunately, a couple couldn't be there, they had deck competitions or other things going on, but we love celebrating kids. Those who were there, thank you for clapping loud, thank you for clapping for over 2 hours. I know it's an exhausting event, and at the end of it, we're going so tired, but think about that last kid, like she talked about with that last name, a Z last name, and we clapped just as loud, just as hard for her as we did for the first kid. Really cool stats about the majority, other than 13 of our kids, were the first generation college, the first generation to go to college in their families. And then I believe, 68 of them were the first in their family to go to college. So a couple of cheerleader stories, love their stories, especially love talking, that they were so open about the struggles they went through. But despite the struggles, right, they're still crossing stage, getting these amazing scholarships. And how did they come from that to go here? And I always quote Kierkegaard, life is best understood when you look backwards, but life has to be looked forwards. And I think that's what all these kids have in their minds, just, this is my opportunity out of the situation I'm in. Work hard, try hard, strive hard, and get there. And so I'm so excited to see where these kids go. The Rotary kids are amazing, amazing students. Y'all got your pictures, got to meet with them. And I know a lot of y'all got to meet them in advance as well, so that's really kind of a fun thing. And thank you for that feedback. A lot of y'all pulled me aside and said that was actually a really big highlight to meet them at the training, so we'll definitely keep that up. A lot of kids pulled me aside and said, I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but I really wasn't looking forward to breakfast because I didn't want to meet new people, but I'm not meeting new people now because I know these people now. So thank y'all for coming to the training and making me feel so much at ease. We'd love to answer any questions y'all have about breakfast, scholarships, anything. I thought it was a great event.
Yeah.
Everybody thought so. Thank you.
We were well represented.
Yes, Rotary was there. We had, I believe, 4 tables full of Rotary students. Our Rotarians there. It's just really neat. There's a great photo that I shared that y'all can see. So, anyway. Yes, sir.
Ivan and Rick Lindsay, and there are 3 there programs from yesterday for anyone that is interested to see how big a deal it is.
Yes, thank you, Bob. Yeah, these programs, this was another thing in our existence, but worth it. Our students write their own bios, so they tell us their story. Some of them write one sentence, and I'm sure their moms and dads are going, oh no. Others write their full life story, so this is a really beautiful piece that y'all can read, learn a little bit more about our students. Those of you that were on the front end of things were doing scholarships, got more of like excited for our kids, about their essays. I mean, they really pour their hearts out in those things. So anyway, that's about Breakfast with Stars. Thank you to those of you that also created additional scholarships outside of Rotary. Really appreciate that. It was kind of a cool thing to see. It was like it started here at Rotary and now it's trickled back to other people going, how do you be part of that? I feel like I'm so nice to listen, right? I was like, I want some of that, give me some. Thank you.
Awesome, and we are gonna keep this meeting moving. We have an awesome presentation ready for you on emergency management responsibilities from our Irving Office of Emergency Management. I can't get my words out. But we are so thankful for you being here and doing this presentation.
Good afternoon, thank you for having me. My name is MariCarmen Garcia, I'm the Emergency Management Specialist for the City of Irving. First and foremost, thank you for having me. Thank you for being a part of the Rotary Club. Just hearing you talk about the scholarships and the breakfast from yesterday, it was very moving to me because I was part of the Rotary Club back in high school, and I was receiving scholarships perfectly fine. I got full rides to UT, but being a first-gen student, just hearing how the great impact you guys are having it for first-gen families is great. Thank you for supporting a lot of us that we're gonna have an opportunity to go to school there with the first scholarships and people like you seeing things in us and believing in us. So thank you for that. So we're gonna get started with the presentation. We're in the Office of Emergency Management, and we'll talk a little bit about our responsibilities, our duties, our tasks, and how we work to keep our community safe and Irving. So emergency management is a continuous process by which all individuals, groups, and communities manage hazards to avoid or lessen the impact of disasters in the community. All in short, we are proactive about disasters. We work to identify the hazards, man-made and technological, as well as natural disasters that can happen here in the city. And then we work with internal partners as well as external partners to identify how we can lessen and reduce the impacts that they will have on our communities. So just to lay the foundation, what is a disaster? According to the Texas Disaster Act of 1975, a disaster is the occurrence or imminent threat of widespread or severe damage, injury, or loss of life or property resulting from any natural or human cause. So again, we just focus on anything that can have real impacts on life, property, and businesses. So we focus on implementing the 4 phases of emergency management. It's a visual
how we're involved in basically every day we're working with this cycle. It's an endless cycle that goes on, so we focus a lot on mitigations first. We're currently working on updating our hazard mitigation plan by federal law. We're required to have as a city update it every 5 years in order for us to be eligible for federal grants. And so we're currently working on that. Huge preparedness days like this morning, I was at one of our elementary schools after a career fair day where we're just teaching them about emergency management and what they can do at home to be their own emergency managers in a sense. Recovery, we work a lot with amazing nonprofits here in Irving and the region to provide assistance to those families or individuals impacted after a disaster. Anything as small as a house fire, a brush fire, or as big as a hurricane. Like here in Irving, we're big. We have an agreement with the state. If there's a terrible hurricane in either Louisiana or our Texas coast, we will open a shelter in one of our rec centers and we'll host about 350 to 450 evacuees, and we'll have that shelter open. Usually it's for about 2 weeks, but we have this for them. We're actually even awarded award from the state acknowledging how great the shelters here. So it's been great and we love having not just our community here, but in the community there. The next slide. So again, for examples of the PM, we can skip that one real quick. So in Irving, we are the Office of Emergency Management. We are under the police department. We're a division right under the chief, so we report directly to him. We consist of 3 individuals, myself, and then the assistant emergency management coordinator, Jordan Serrano, and then our emergency management coordinator, Jason Serrano, or sorry. So yeah, we are a staff of 3. We're always on a rotation call basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If anything happens, fire, police, or even like our nonprofits have called us out for things, and we're on call, so if anything happens, we're happy to help, and we're ready to help as well. So day-to-day operations, again, specifically especially I focus on plans. I write emergency operation plans. Those are also required by state to be updated every 5 years to receive state funding, continuity of operations. We do that internally for every single department has a plan or continuity of operations where essentially we have them identify their staff members, their contact information, alternate locations in case there's a cyber attack, in case there's a loss of power, things like that. We also have them identify their social functions. What do they do for the city? What do they do for the communities and residents? And that way, we know exactly what they do. We know exactly what resources and technology they need to accomplish their day-to-day tasks. And we have that, and that's worked phenomenal. We haven't activated those plans here in Irving, thankfully, but we see cities like City of Carrollton with their cyber attack activated. We see cities like Richardson that activated their food plans after a fire in their city hall. They've all worked phenomenally. They are very proactive plans that help us not continue services, right? Because we're a government entity, we need to be continuously serving our communities. So it's important to have these food plans. Hazard mitigation, like I mentioned, we're currently working on updating that plan. It's a big plan, about 200 pages long. We identify all the diverse hazards here in the city. We identify what, as a city, we want to do to prevent and mitigate those disasters. And again, it's important because in the end of the plan, it's almost like a wish list. We always call it a wish list because we can list absolutely any action that we want to take as a city to mitigate against those hazards. And then that way, if it's in the plan, we can then apply for federal grant funding. If it's not in the plan, we can't apply for it. So we dream big with this plan, and we do things that we know that we probably can't afford with our general fund or general budget, but we dream big because we know that there's federal grant money out there for that. And then we also do conduct training and exercises. We do special events, communication through internal for our departments, like especially our PIOs and things like that. We can skip the next couple of slides since I'm going to detail about those plans. And then we can stay on the training and exercise. I just want to give a quick shout out about training and exercises. This has been our biggest goal this coming year. Especially, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but January 4th, we actually hosted a full-scale exercise at Nimitz High School where we involved Every single city department here, but we specifically police and fire, is an active shooter threat exercise that we posted because, as we know, active shooters and incidents, especially in our school, are on the rise, and we want to ensure that our police officers and fire department are ready to respond in protecting our children. So we posted this little exercise. It's about 8 months plan. It involves the school district. It involves almost every single city department. It also involves Plano, Dallas, and which city I can't remember. The 3 additional cities with their emergency management departments is Denver, Office 3. And we could handle everything, do all the planning by ourselves. So we needed assistance, so we called on 3 other resource assistants, and they're all side and all great. But yeah, it was a great success. It was from 80 interns who got working. We learned a lot about what we can do to improve and processes, and even new policies that we're going to implement to fasten our response times and just make ourselves better for responses similar to this. Our hope is to continue exercises not just during in schools, but also to expand it to a lot of corporate communities that we have here, businesses. We want to expand it to complexes like certain malls or even the Irving mall that we have here. Where our goal is to implement and invite the community to help us prepare ourselves and help them prepare themselves as well through training and exercises. So we also operate a comprehensive warning system. Part of that is the outdoor warning sirens. I'm sure you guys do every single Wednesday for Thursday of the month. Yeah. Love to hate it, we have to have it. It's a great tool essentially for all of our people who are maybe outside during when they're needed, or for example, severe thunderstorms, fast wind, or hail. We operate those, maintain those, and have 26 around the city. I think this coming year, if not next year, we will have a sound study conducted for them to see if the placement of the 26 sirens are correct, or if they need to be moved, or if we need to add more. Simply because we have a lot of increase in high-rise buildings, and so that obviously changes the length of the sound wave travel. So we'll leave that study soon. We do alert, that's a system called Everbridge, but our internally we call it alert. Basically, the system is a mass notification system. Citizens are recommended to sign up for a register, and they basically can receive notifications for anything like community events, things that are going on in the city. So, for example, for our January 4th exercise, we notified within a 1-mile radius from Colinas High School, hey, streets will be shut down, just an exercise, be aware, find alternate routes, things like that. So we use it to keep our community informed. Social media, of course, we work a lot with communications, police media affairs, and GPIOs to keep our community safe. We do this routinely. Again, even if it's a small apartment fire, we work with GPIO, police media affairs to get information out there to our citizens, and even a lot of people who travel through our city. We have a real all hazards radio. We encourage individuals to have a hazardous radio, especially like weather radios, to receive information. Because as we know, if technology fails, especially if something like the AT&T shutdown, we'll still have radios, it'll be fine. And then TV override and radio override. The City of Irving Communications Department has the ability to override TVs and radio systems in case critical emergencies needed and messages to get out. So just to give you guys a little more information about activation, we have 4 reasons why we would activate the sirens. First one is confirmed in Toledo. So this could be through our volunteers who are the races, we call races, but basically they're can operate as a path throughout the city, and they're credentialed by the FCC. Sometimes they love to go out, or even from their front door, they are our eyes to the city. And so they get notification to the National Weather Service, and then gives that information to us. We can sound off the sirens. We also do severe thunderstorm warning with winds forecast of 10 miles per hour or greater, or 1.5 inches or larger hail. We have a tornado warning. So funny thing about our sirens, they'll automatically set off if there's a tornado warning in our city. That's an automatic thing that we decided to do, mainly because of the high population of commuters that we have in the city, especially during rush traffic hours. We want to make sure that those individuals who are outside get that notification, especially if you're driving, you don't have the accessibility to your phone, hopefully not, right? So that's when we have the automatics sounding off. And then any emergency access to immediate threats to life. So things like hazardous material releases. We work a lot with our corporate facilities, Exxon, just last year we had an exercise with them. And we agreed that if something were to happen in their Exxon facility, we would have like a radius. And in that radius, the sirens that are in that radius, we would activate them. With the intent for residents to hopefully go to social media, go to TV, radio to get more information about what's happening. So these four sounding off activation requirements are a regional thing. As part of the call, the 60 regions we got together and decided this is the best criteria for sounding off the sirens, because we have to do that because we know that a lot of facilities, such as like our tier 2 facilities, which are high hazardous material facilities, they have strict policies about these things. If there's the siren is set off, then they have to have safety procedures in place so they can go. And so it was getting a little tedious for them about, oh, I heard the Dallas sirens, but not the Irving ones. And so that's what we got together to have a coordinated activation. So again, a little bit more about how their emergency alert notification use, crash notification system. We notify employees, residents, businesses, and special groups. Any of the individuals within Irving have the ability to sign up for this. And then we also use it internally. We use it if there's any facility issues, overtime opportunities, or individual department notices. We're increasing more the internal use of it. For example, winter storms are on the rise as well, and so we have more notably started closing our facilities or opening late. And so we want to get that information out there not only to citizens but also to our staff, because we don't want them to go out in hazardous conditions. So you're notified using phone, text, or email. Those are the primary. However, there's up to 20 different methods that you can get your information. So you can have 20, put off 20 down, that'll be great. But we've known that anybody that's has 20, so. Day-to-day responsibilities, another part of it is building relationships. This is huge. Again, we work a lot with mutual partners, fire, police, public works, and city offices. Fun fact, public works is on the rise of being identified as first responders as well. Not usually seen as first responders, but most definitely they are, especially with the rise of instability in our critical infrastructure and power. So our agencies, regional emergency management agencies, again, we work a lot through the COG to collaborate with our regional partners. We're a part of a lot of different committees within the COG. For example, the SWAT working group, the communications working group, cyber threat working group. And we do this not only to stay up to date about things that are happening in our cities or around us, but we also do this to be able to receive more grant funding. More grant funding that we're able to use for certain resources, more grant funding that we use for different outlets, such as community parks or libraries, things like that. We also work a lot with national initiatives to receive up-to-date information about weather, hazardous that are coming into our town. Transportation agencies work a lot with the airport. We have mutual aid agreements with them, not only for fires, but also for things if like there's an aviation accident and you have a airport communication center. We are on their plan to assist not only as emergency management, but also PD and fire. And we would actually use some of our city facilities for communication. We do hospitals, we work a lot with Baylor Scott and White, Las Colinas. We assist them, and actually Baylor Scott and White Irving was part of our full-scale exercise. We had some of our volunteers actually transport to the hospital and then they ran through their procedures. So they can get more of the real life experience, but also again assist us with the reality of the exercise. We work a lot with the county health department. Again, we saw a lot in 2020, especially where we had to work a lot with them through them to get COVID vaccine sites up and running. Non-profit organizations, we love MariCarmen. I'm sorry, I cannot list y'all, but we love MariCarmen and Irving Cares. You guys are always great. We love to have you guys as the first call. We love to call Irving Cares and MariCarmen prior to calling American Cause. Either organizations, especially because they're within the city, so they're so quick to help us. And they have a great care for our residents. It's always great calling Irving nonprofits first. Faith-based groups, we love working with our churches, especially like through our IC, for example, they have Calvary Church identified as their family reunification site. So it's great to have those partnerships, especially when we need them. State and federal agencies, we work a lot with TIDA and FEMA, basically again for grant funding, for a lot of the legal requirements that we are forced to have as a city. We love to work with them, they're always great help, especially during disaster times. Thankfully here in Irving, we're very self-sufficient, but as times are needed, we would call them that. So now from day to day to responsibility during the incident, this is a picture of our 2022 winter storm activation. The picture is our EOC, Emergency Operations Center. So we had individuals called from at least one from every single city department to be liaisons, to consume information or resources, things like that. We coordinate information dissemination, so we would have our PIOs and communications department at the EOC coordinate resources. So if somebody from streets requires new resources that we currently don't have, then we would try to coordinate that. For example, in 21, we were one of the few cities in the region that had snow plows. And so a lot of people were calling us, so of course we wanted to take care of our residents first, and so we had to prioritize our residents. Same with sand, things like that, we prioritize our residents and then bring them to our neighborhood communities. We're coordinating and solve policy issues. Again, it goes back to those mutual agreements, it's great having them, but when you're the one self-sufficient city, it's hard to have a lot of cities asking you for help, and so we try to coordinate and solve those kinds of issues. And then we provide strategic coordination. Again, we work on, usually during the incident, we work on 12-hour operational periods. So we work on coordination of what are our next have to be, especially the streets and water department, during winter storms, we have to coordinate our staff who maybe lives an hour away, but we don't want them to go away, not soon because of work that needs to be done, but for their safety. So we have to coordinate sleeping opportunities in hotels and things like that we have to coordinate. So our history of Irving only in response to fires is obviously probably our biggest one. We respond to home fires, predominantly apartment fires, and we're there to connect with resources. Of course, we don't put out the fire, we let the department do the job, but after that, we are there for the families, with the individuals, and we connect them to the resources such as Irving Care, and American Red Cross, anything that we can think of, we give them the information, or sometimes we facilitate those conversations for them, either because they're elderly or lack of English proficiency, we're there to help any way we can. Hurricane evacuation children, again, we are having an agreement with the state, we're third in line, so first tell us what we're looking at us. To receive hurricane evacuation shelters, we are third in line simply because we're great at taking care of pets. We love our pets as a department, and so we prioritize other people's pets as well. And we have a great animal services department, so we love to have evacuees pets at our facility. We have a great vet on site that does like vaccinations, neutering, spaying, anything that the pet needs, we'll do for them. And that's great. And just to FYI, hurricane evacuation sheltering, it's like a mutual agreement, so it's 100% free. We have like 100% reimbursement. So we do anything that we can because it's not our dime or our cost. And it's always great to do hurricane evacuation sheltering because it's training for us for when we really have to do sheltering for our residents, for our communities. We'll be ready to go. We have a team. We do missing child, we work a lot with this. Again, because we trade agreements, we work a lot with connecting resources, especially if you recently are working with implementing a plan. But with that plan of addressing missing children, they need to have partnering agencies like Grand Prairie, Bedford, and Assembly. And so just assisting them with the policies about that is what we do. Super Bowl, we were activated for the Super Bowl simply because we had teams here that's in our city. A little shout out to the Super Bowl because in 2026 we'll be hosting the World Cup. We won't be hosting the World Cup, we'll be hosting part of the World Cup. And so it's exciting. I know I'm excited. However, the work will be intense. So we're already planning for that. Yeah. So it'd be great, but a lot of strategic work. 2013 plane, COVID-19 pandemic mass vaccination sites. The picture is an image of the mass vaccination sites that we held together with Grand Prairie. It was at the park. But yeah, severe weather, we do that a lot. Again, like last night, for example, this week, Jason's on call. So he was up at 3 in the morning, checking the radar, doing the notifications, things like that. And then city sponsor special events, we have a threshold of at least attendance of 3,000 people before we're on site. And we're just there with our mobile command vehicle. If anything were to happen, we're already on site, ready to go. So that's what we just do every minute, please, in case anything were to happen. So what else are we doing to help everybody get prepared for a disaster? We participate in training and educational classes to continually add to our booking knowledge. We do this mainly internally, for example, if there's a class that Parks wants and to bring us to the city, we will work hard to get that here. In finance, for example, last 2 weeks ago, we hosted a disaster finance class that we thought would really be great. So we worked hard to get the state to come in and teach that to our staff. Meeting basic state federal standards and regulations, again, we do love the bare minimum, for example, with our emergency operations plans. The state only requires 15, but we have 18 in place with a bunch of annexes such as donation management, family communication science, family assistance centers. We go above and beyond because we know that that's what we want to have for citizens. Taking proactive approach to public outreach education strategies to help better inform citizens. So we do this practically, especially I love public education, I love going out to, especially schools, honestly. I love going to children and talking to them about preparedness. There's a lot of research about how if you start implementing public education about disasters at an early age, not only will they remember it when they're older, but you'll also spread it to their families. And I think that's very important for me, especially as a immigrant, because I came here and I didn't know anything about some of those. Communities aren't really big parents in Mexico. And so being taught that as a child, I went home and I told my parents. So I think that's why for me, I love going to schools and teaching about it. So about every year I usually go to elementary schools. I get 3 elementary schools to do career fair and educate them about disasters. We work a lot with corporations, businesses, and volunteer partners that help enhance culture of disaster awareness. Again, we work with a lot of the corporations that we have here in the city to help them assist them. But even if they have trainings that they want to conduct, we will facilitate those trainings for them. That's all.
Dude, that was awesome. You went so fast, we still have some time for questions. No, I mean, we're sorry that you had to go as fast as you did, but are there questions? When I came to Irving, maybe this is something telling about myself, but on the day I moved in, the tornado siren was going off as we were trying to unload all my goods in the rain. So I didn't even realize there was an office of emergency management. I've lived here 5 years, so I'm a little bit embarrassed about that, but Ivan, you have a question?
Yeah, in regards to the sound notification, first, thank you for everything that you do. In regards to the sound notification, the sirens, is there any thought or is there a difference in sound between an emergency of a tornado versus fire possibly? And then second part of that question, if I could, sometimes tornadoes never touch the ground. We don't see them when they're up there. Are there differences in sounds of the warning so we can kind of be more educated about what the threat is?
Yeah, so our sirens don't have the ability, things like universities, they usually do have the ones that are audible, where you can change the audio to say like trigger warning or civil unrest things on campus, things like that. We personally don't have the plans of changing that because again, it goes back to the whole regional thing. The only town that I know that does have a different sounds is Addison, and actually we've seen that the residents are more confused as opposed to more knowledgeable about what's going on. For example, I know they have different sounds for tornado warning and then severe winds. And so I think it was last year back in February, they did the different tone to the winds, because it wasn't a tornado, but it was like straight line winds, that was still very dangerous. And they had more confusion from their residents, more calls, more just comments of concern as opposed to comments of like, I know what I'm doing and doing. So I think that's another reason why we would come back to. We've seen that it causes more confusion as opposed to understanding of what the situation is.
And do you pick up the tornadoes, you report those, or will we hear sirens?
It's either both, if they haven't touched the ground yet, because they're not a threat to our citizens' communities. But the National Weather Service is aware of those, they notify us when we don't activate the sirens because they're not a threat to our communities. Unless they're touching the ground, confirmed sighting of tornado, then we'll send the sirens. But notably, especially with technology advancing, the National Weather Service gives us about 45 minutes in advance of a rotation. And we usually don't sound it off even 45 minutes in advance, we wait till it's a little closer, simply because our sirens are solar powered, and so we don't want to waste batteries when it's truly needed. 45 minutes is a lot, especially for commuter residents, it's probably be out of city. And so we wait till it's closer, where it's still enough time for you to seek shelter, but it's still not like too late, if that makes sense.
I actually was in South Lake when the tornado hit that Sam's location.
Okay.
I literally was waiting out the storm before I was exiting Sam's.
Yeah.
and then realized the storm wasn't stopping, ran out to my vehicle and threw the things in, and then my phone went off. I never heard a siren. So if you're close enough to the actual tornado, do you get the alert on your phone? Is that-
Yes, so that's called iPod, that's managed by FEMA and
Okay.
National Weather Service. It's, think of it literally like the Amber Alert calls, or notifications, or the, silver alerts. It's that same system, that you receive, if the threat is critical enough, then the National Weather Service can set those off.
And that's
Or-
what they're
Yeah, it's
racing.
geographically located, so that's why the police certification. I know, for example, TechStop, they're trying a similar program as that, where if you're in a specific location geographically, and it knows that you're driving, it'll send you a notification. I know Google's are starting to do that, like G and GM, they're having a notification where, your screen, where you have like, the Apple Play, it'll actually override that. So I know some car companies are moving to that because in 2017, they're breaking it up. The tornado happened in Raleigh, Garland. The individuals that did, unfortunately, lose their lives because they were driving, had an Apple or Android auto connected, so they didn't have that override that the radios have. And that's what they didn't know that was happening. And so Tesla is doing a lot of implications of overriding your cell phone, overriding your car, but also on those billboards that we see that usually have money notifications, now they're gonna be like, we override that and provide like serious information like tornado warning, please seek shelter.
I just want to say that for those of you who don't know their location, if you've ever come to a Friends of the Library book sale, we're all in the same building. We're downstairs and they're up to the west, so we're in one big happy building.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, real quick.
You may have a busy evening because the National Weather Service has issued an alert for hail, large hail, damaging winds, and possible tornadoes for this area today.
Yeah, they could have not called since Jason, that was the last week. So if you need anything, call Jason, but we're on rotation.
Well, I'm glad I'm headed to the hill country, so I'm get out of here. All right, folks, thank you so much. It is important, individual crisis, that a lot of our kids are facing, so we can be a mentor. It is life changing, so please consider that. There are, big brothers, big sisters is a good one. There are other programs also, that's a wonderful thing to do. Friends, we are at time, so I'm gonna invite us to stand. Terry, would you be willing to lead us in our four-way test? Terry Oliver is our Director of Vocational Services and Program Director. Take it away, Terry.
Please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do for Rotary. First.
Is it the truth?
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? We packed a lot into the meeting. That was awesome. God bless you.